Hello, Rama Rama Pupodu. Hope all are in good health, feeling great, relaxed, peaceful. Now let's go to chapter 20, part 1 Mount Abu. Sri Shanti Vijayji, a pure saint. Ramdas again occupied at Kamba on the bank of Lakshmi Talao. On the day of his arrival, he had an attack of high fever, which lasted for 3 days. Ramkinkar attended to him. He grew extremely anxious about him and sometimes wept when he had very high fever. Ramdas refused to be treated with medicine and suggested a fast for a day or two. At first, Ramkinkar opposed the idea but had to yield when he saw the fever continuing. A 2 days fast cured him of the malady. Here, Ramdas received an invitation from Mother Elizabeth, the English lady who was then living on Mount Abu. He made up his mind to visit Mount Abu. Ramkinkar and other friends of Jhansi proposed that he should have an ashram somewhere in Bandalkhand. After some discussion, they fixed Gokar Parvat as a place suitable for such an ashram. They insisted upon his return after the visit to Mount Abu. Ram Charan Das also came to Jhansi about this time. He requested again that he be allowed and keep Ramdas company. The latter asked him to go in advance to Mahoba, where he would meet Ram Charan Das on his return from Mount Abu. Ramdas once met Swami Nirbhayanand and his noble wife at their kuti. Before leaving Jhansi, he had his last dinner with them. A wire had been sent beforehand. A wire had been sent beforehand to Mother Elizabeth of Ramdas coming. In due time, he reached Abu Road station. Raja Ram's sepoy was awaiting his arrival. By motor bus, Ramdas with his escort went up Mount Abu for about 20 miles. At last he came to the bungalow of Mother Elizabeth. She had at the time two prominent guests, the Thakur Sahib of Limdi and Sri P. Patani Dewan of Bhavnagar state. Mother Elizabeth greeted Ramdas with manifest joy. A room in a villa had been prepared for him. Next day, the party was joined by a saint of Ram of Jamnagar, Ram Prasad. Ramdas preferred to live on milk and fruit diet. He would sit at the mother's table in the company of a distinguished guest for taking his milk and fruit. The mother was overwhelming in her love and kindness. She would almost feed him with her own hands. He remained at Mount Abu for about 12 days. He would hear chronicle only one or two important incidents during this short stay on the hill. He was ever having the Ram Mantram on his lips. The room in which he dwelt was ringing with its sound. Now, Mother Elizabeth had engaged some masons to raise a compound wall round her house. They were working about 20 yards from his room. One day, the mother came in a hurry to him and asked, Ramdas, have you taught the mantram also to the masons? I hear them repeating it while they are at work. In fact, the mantram was automatically uttered by all in the compound. In the nights after 3, Patani Ram, so he was named, was heard singing the mantram. He had a suite of rooms close to Ramdas. The Brahman cook and sepoys of Raja Ram and other servants were also found singing the mantram to themselves. Once, when the mother with Raja Ram, Patani Ram and Ramdas were motoring towards the famous Dilwarna temple, the car was ringing with the loud music of the mantram. Every occupant of the car was singing the mantram at a high pitch. It caught everybody like a contagion. The Dilwara temple, which they visited, was very picturesque edifice carved in white marble. The sculptor had freely lavished all his genius and skill in making the temple a unique piece of architecture. As you enter, you came upon a quadrangular set of structures with a central block in which the main idol of Mahavira, the founder of Jainism, was installed. The quadrangles consisted of long verandas open inside, having on the walls, ceilings, and pillars exquisite carvings of emblems and designs with the figures of nude Mahavira at intervals in the niches on the walls. The cupola of the central dome was also a wonderful piece of sculpture, carved with artistic devices. The Jain saints who resided within the temple were kind enough to take Ramdas round and show the interior of the shrine. At its front, there was a small structure of marble with a number of caparized elephants fashioned out of pure white marble, and on the decorated howdahs of these elephants were seated effigies of ancient Jain kings. Mother Elizabeth looked upon a Jain saint who lived in one of the caves of Mount Abu as a guru or spiritual teacher. Once she had proposed to take Ramdas to him, but he evinced no enthusiasm in the matter and the idea was dropped. But suddenly one morning the Mahatma himself turned up at a villa. The mother introduced Ramdas to him. He was seated on an asan on the floor of one of her rooms. Ramdas, going up to him, embraced him with great joy. He returned the embrace with a much delight. Then Ramdas sat beside him. He was humility personified. He was stout and short figure with full black beard. He wore only one cloth across his shoulders. The cloth was at places torn and dirty. His eyes had a distant look of meditation. He radiated purity and peace. Ramdas had no talk with him. He could speak only Gujarati, and Ramdas was a stranger to that tongue. That's all, folks. Let's see in the next chapter. Thank you. Bye bye. Rama Rama Pupodu.